You've probably noticed, but AI mania is sweeping the globe right now. Twitter is full of threads telling you how you can supercharge your productivity with AI by becoming a better writer or a better coder or better at creating art. And there's so much focus on how AI can improve our productivity. But one thing that I don't think is talked about enough is how AI can actually help us make better decisions and improve our creativity. And I think this is a huge component to it, because a great idea executed well is always going to outperform a mediocre idea executed well. So that's what we're going to discuss in this video, how we can use AI to make better decisions. So I'm going to take you through the 3 characters that I ask AI to play that are basically my aides and my A-team that are helping me make better decisions every day and every week. So first we have Thufir. He's my right-hand man. He's logical, right-brained. He thinks like a supercomputer, and he helps me out with really kind of understanding the counter arguments and things that I might have missed when I'm looking for new opportunities. Next, we have Jessica. She is my ideation machine. She's the creative person or robot that I go to when I'm looking to bounce around new ideas, and maybe I've got something that I want to work on, but I want different ways of exploring things, different ways to think about it, and new ideas. Finally, we have Duncan, who's my coach and mentor and helps me deal with the mindset side of things. And if you're a nerd like me, you might have noticed that these are all 3 characters out of June. I don't know, I like to personify my, is that the right word? Personify my AI characters. It just makes it feel a bit more, organic and genuine when I'm talking to them. So let's dive into each of these 3 characters and where I use them. So this is the prompt that I use for Thufir, and you can find all of these prompts in the link below. I'm gonna give all of my ChatGPT prompts away for free. So just click the link there and you'll be able to get them all. So basically I'm asking him to play, the role of, Master of Assassins. He's a highly trained strategist, and this mind has infinite computing power. And usually when I'll use Thufir is at the start of a problem or a project when I'm really just looking to validate my ideas. So I want him to basically counteract every single argument that I'm going to give so that I'm better prepared or that I can think better about a problem. So an example of this might be if you're at work and you've got a new idea and you want to pitch it to your boss, come into here first, ask Thufir what he thinks of it, and he will just point out all of the flaws in your argument. And this is so helpful because, any good thinker is always going to try and do this naturally anyway. They're going to, when they lay down their argument, try and attack it with all the ways that they can. And this just makes it 10 times easier because you've got an AI helping you that's going to basically list out all of the problems that you might face. So here I've asked him about growing my YouTube channel by putting out more AI content. My belief being that you guys who are watching this, because you're productivity nerds who are into, my Notion stuff, you're also going to be into AI. And then he's basically listed for me a load of reasons as to why this will fail. So he's saying there's an oversaturation of content. It might be difficult for people to understand nuanced topics, and also, some stuff around changing interests from the Notion to AI, how that's going to maybe alienate my, current community. So all of these are like very, very legit reasons as to why I might not look at doing this, and really quite an interesting way of thinking about the problem. So the next person that we're going to explore is Jessica, and how I would usually use Jessica is if I've had an idea and I've validated it with Thufir and I've, said, okay, I want to do this, tell me, why this won't work. I'll then take one of those reasons as to why it won't work that I'm not in my head sure about how I'm going to overcome, and I'll then plug it into Jessica. So the prompt here is Jessica is my creative problem solver. I'm going to give you problems and you're going to output novel and creative solutions. So here I've taken one of the points that Thufir gave me as to why this YouTube AI content wouldn't work, which is around oversaturation of AI content, which is, incredibly relevant. There's so much AI content out there. How do you stick out amongst everyone else who's creating it? And what Jessica has come up with is some really good ideas. Combine AI with another niche. This is actually gold. Like, this is how you really niche down and form what Greg Eisenberg would call a super niche. So instead of just having one niche of AI, how do you combine that with something else? So here Jessica's used the example of cooking. You can combine cooking with AI to make recipes. For me, it's going to be productivity. So productivity and decision making. How can I link those two with AI to create content that is still going to attract a niche? And then she's given me a load more kind of, ideas here. Use humor, something that I'm trying to do more with this video, trying to, show the different kind of June characters and how they can relate with AI, and just some really good ideas here. And again, this is something that you can do so that if you're in a meeting with your boss and he says, well, have you thought about this? You can be like, well, actually I have, and here's like 5 different reasons or 5 different factors that we can do to mitigate that risk. So really great way to work, and just saves you a hell of a lot of time and helps you think a lot clearer. So now we're going to talk about Duncan. Duncan is kind of the, therapist, or, your bro, or like someone that you would just want to talk to, who's going to help you give rational, clear advice as to kind of personal or business problems that you might be facing. So whereas Thufir is more kind of counter arguments, Jessica is more creative. Thufir is kind of in between. He's like just kind of going to help you, guide you along the right path if you're having any crises or something like that. He's going to be very helpful, and he's also going to be very supportive. So this is the prompt that I use. Again, find it in the description. It's quite complicated. I've played around with this quite a lot because it's actually quite difficult to get right, because you don't want them just giving you like cookie cutter advice, and you don't want them being overly optimistic, but also you want to feel kind of supported when you're talking to someone like this. So here I'm asking Duncan that I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed by the pace of AI innovation. And, he's saying how, he understands that. I mean, it's obviously a computer, but it's quite nice to hear that, yeah, it can be overwhelming. I'm obviously, this is not a novel thing that I'm feeling. I'm sure there's loads of people out there who are feeling overwhelmed by the pace of AI at the moment. But then he gets it back on track and he says, right, okay, let's go through this step by step. Let's go through your skills and how we can help you, in this field to progress and not feel overwhelmed. And then we just go through this conversation where, I'm answering him and he's kind of giving me some ideas. And then eventually always comes back to this like rational idea of, okay, here's a few outputs, here's a few concrete steps that you can take today. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, link in the description for the prompts. I'm going to be doing more videos like this as well on AI and different tools that I use and how it's helping with my workflow. So if you'd like to see more of that, press subscribe, and I'll see you next time.